introduce myself. My name is Chastity Buckley. I am the host of Midnight R&B Edition, homage to Midnight Love BET. And I am here, guys, with the 28-year veteran, probably add more, a 30-year veteran in this industry. He's a singer, a songwriter, producer. I mean, your catalog and your resume is so long. I can go on and on. But I want to introduce you guys to the 1/3 of the iconic group that my family listened to growing up, and crazy enough, but as I became an adult, I learned about intro. So, but I want to introduce you guys to Mr. Clinton Buddy. Is it Wike? Am I saying it right?
Wike.
Oh, like a bike. Wike. Okay. But I'm gonna reintroduce Mr. Clinton Buddy Wike. So thank you so much for joining me on the live. Thank you so much.
I'm honored.
Yes, I am definitely honored too. I'm making sure I know we're getting a little fuzzy on the live, so I'm trying to make sure you're straight.
Is that my camera, you think? I can definitely wipe it off.
Okay, it may be because it's just a little blurry.
Okay, give me half a second here. Come right back.
Okay. Thank y'all for joining. I'm so excited to see everybody. So excited.
Okay, let me try to wipe it off with this thing right here. Excuse me for a quick second.
No, you good.
So this is my little, real quick, I'll show you. This is my little hangout right here.
That is much better. That is much better.
This is my little cave that I hang out
I see that. I see intro. I see you got a monogram. Man, I am ready.
Oh, shit. That's all good.
Oh, Lord, JR, be careful.
What's up, JR?
He's driving while he's watching the live. Be careful, JR, he's watching the live.
Don't do that, man. She's gonna take
Yes. He's excited. So he is just so excited for y'all, just like I am. And I'm just excited to join you so much. So thank you.
London just jumped on here. You guys have some. I see my cousin just jumped on. I see my friend Koshi from London just jumped on.
Hey, London, what? Come on, London.
Yeah. Send some hearts.
Yes, y'all give us some hearts. So excited. So yes, but Mr. White, before we do get started, I wanted to ask you, I know Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you too. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I wanted to ask you before we do get started on our interview, 2020 has kind of been like the craziest time of the year since we came in a new decade. And I wanted to ask you, how have you been doing since the pandemic has happened? And now since we are in a new year, how have you been dealing since everything has happened? And what have you been doing with intro since everything's happened in 2021?
Okay. 2020 went by so fast. It went by so fast.
It did.
For me. Like from February to now, it was just like one long day, honestly. I've been buckled down. We've been working on the documentary. We started on the documentary about a year and a half ago. So once the pandemic started, I think we did like 1 or 2 more shoots. We booked an Airbnb in New York, and we wrapped it up. It's edited, and I'm actually going to watch it tonight for the very first time. I'm going to watch it by myself. The director asked me specifically, he said, just watch it by yourself. Don't show your friends. Don't show nobody. So tonight sometime I'm going to get me a bag of popcorn, and I'm going to watch the documentary. Just conversating with the record label, through the months and stuff. When they say I'm gonna call you back tomorrow, that really means they're gonna call you back next month. So you got a month of thinking and strategizing. Been building up my song catalog. Got introduced to Clubhouse. Been on their networking. Let me see. It's just been just staying safe. Like yesterday, I took my second COVID test, and it came back negative again.
So, praise God for that.
I'm 2 for 2. So
okay.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, staying safe. And I'm just so proud of you. And I'm so excited to even just learn the history about intro. I actually learned about y'all, like I said, in 2017. I actually was watching BET Slow Jams one day, and your song had came up. And first I seen Stevie Wonder the video, and I was like, wait a minute, Stevie Wonder, like how is Stevie Wonder in this video? It was so confusing to me because I was like ripping in the sky, because I remember that from Stevie Wonder. So when I heard you guys and y'all sound so beautiful, I was like, wait a minute, who are these guys? I was so upset because I was like, how did y'all skip over my head? And so when I seen that, it was just so beautiful. And I love it. And I've gotten so many comments about it. I actually recently had one of my special guests who came in for our last song relationship. She just told me that her mother and her stepfather got married to your song. So you were the theme song of their wedding. So I wanted to let you definitely know that.
Thank you. I was just like, the words are too kind, but I was just thinking about that song and the weddings and stuff and the opportunities that it presented to us. We sung that song at a wedding in London where I swear
Oh,
about, I may be undercutting it, maybe 3,000 people. It was an
oh
Indian
wow.
wedding. I don't know if you've ever been to an Indian wedding before, but it was the most amazing wedding. And they flew me and Jeff over there and took care of us like kings. It was just a wonderful time.
Oh,
And
that is so sweet. I
that's
haven't. Oh no,
mhm.
go ahead, Mr.
Now
Button.
I'm saying that song has presented some really good opportunities for us. Yeah, thank you.
Definitely.
Shout out to Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, shout out to Stevie
Yeah.
Wonder. And I definitely heard the story about that too. But before we do get into that, I do
Mhm.
want to ask you for sure. I want to get started with how, the form of intro, what is the birth or introduction of how intro got started? So I know y'all are from Brooklyn, New York.
I'm from
So shout
Brooklyn,
out.
New York.
Okay.
The other two guys are from Detroit and
Okay.
Queens. Yeah,
Okay.
but we pretty much was based out of New York. Like Kenny ended
Okay.
up buying a house in Brooklyn, New York. So eventually, he was born in Detroit, but he bought a house in Brooklyn. Yep.
Okay. So in that time, so how did y'all all form together? How did y'all link up as a group? Because I know for sure that you and Kenny, y'all were in the military. So how did you guys meet up, and then how did y'all meet Jeff in the process of that?
I met Kenny in the Army through a mutual friend whose name was Kenny as well. He told me he had a friend named Kenny that could sing, and he told Kenny that I knew how to play the piano, so he wanted us to get together. And met Kenny the following Friday, and we talked, and we agreed to go to the recreation center. And when
Mm-hmm.
we went to the recreation center from like the first time, it just started playing music and him writing. We just never stopped. It just kept, one thing just led to the next, to the next, to the next. And there
Mm-hmm.
was another guy in the group at that time. His name was Nelson, but Nelson decided that he wanted to stay in the military. So we started looking for another member, and that's how we found the other member through a mutual friend named Peekaboo who danced with Kwame in The New Beginning.
Oh,
And
I know. Yeah.
yeah,
That's amazing. So I know for sure by you forming this group, I know you had some inspirations. Who were like your inspiration? I know y'all were inspired by Commission. Did y'all have any other people that y'all were inspired by besides Commission, or like y'all the meat? Because I know everybody talks about this gospel sound that people were really prone on to before they get in this R&B realm. So who were your
yeah.
inspirations
Um,
in R&B or gospel in their form?
Commission, Take Six, Today, Guy, New Edition, like everybody that was doing R&B, The Barge, Anita Baker, James Ingram, everybody that was doing that soulful type of R&B music while we were coming up, and that's who we gravitated towards.
That's that's
Yeah.
inspired. You don't hear a lot of people being inspired by James Ingram, y'all.
Oh,
James Ingram is
James
huge.
Ingram is my favorite male singer of all times. I know every single lyric on pretty much on his album. You pick a song, I'll sing it from the top to the bottom. Yeah, I definitely try to
Yes.
emulate my voice from James Ingram. And when I started singing, my voice was a mixture of James Ingram and Anita Baker. I was somewhere
Mm.
trying to get into the middle of those two right there.
Come
Yeah.
on, come on. You better let these people know. Let these people know about James Ingram because a lot of people,
Oh,
um,
Find 100 Ways.
yes, I mean,
Um,
he was a part of Michael Jackson's iconic album Thriller. I didn't even know he wrote PYT, and that's what really shocked
oh
me.
wow. Yep. Yep.
Yes. And
Mm-hmm.
for that, he forever got a check. So, I mean,
Yeah.
that alone right there, being
God
inspired
bless his
by
soul.
James.
He just passed away. God bless him.
Yeah, God
Mm-hmm.
bless him. And definitely for sure, you don't hear a lot of people talk about James Ingram. So, definitely for sure. And I still kind of see that heavily influenced, inspired with those R&B lyrics, those love songs that y'all be talking about on your album. So, before we do that, I know intro means the innovative new talent of reaching out. So I wanted to ask you about how did you get that name and how did your roommates come up with that and how did you guys get discovered in
Okay.
parts of getting a record deal?
Okay. The name itself came off of an album. Had a Motown album, and on the back of it said intro Stevie Wonder, intro Diana Ross, intro The Temptations. So I thought intro was a group that had the opportunity to work with all of those artists.
Mm-hmm.
Come to find out that it was the introduction to that particular song. So once I found out that my favorite group intro really didn't exist, and that's where I got the name from, intro. Because for a long time I thought intro was a group that have got the opportunity to work with all of those artists.
Mm.
And how we threw it out there in the universe, we end up working with Stevie Wonder, who was listed on that album, intro, and Stevie Wonder. It's like a Motown Greatest Hits album. And then Kenny came up with the acronym Innovative New Talent Reaching Out. Yeah.
Mm. That's interesting because I do feel like your group is like the pioneers and like of pioneers of hip hop soul that we call. So feeling from that beginning of the 90s, I know that you got your start with that. And I know y'all were discovered by Heavy D and DJ Eddie F. How did y'all get involved with them? And then also for sure, I know y'all were involved with Mary J. Blige and her first album. So how can you discuss about that?
Yo, I'm not gonna go deep because the documentary is getting ready to drop, and I want
I
everybody to
know.
go
I'm
watch
kind
it.
of sad because I wish you would have dropped
Hey,
it early.
you gotta catch it on the documentary. I'm so happy to be sitting here talking to you, but it's a lot of stuff I want people to just get it off the documentary. But I'm gonna answer every question that you asked me. And to answer that question, we met Heavy D at a club called the Red Zone at a party that Puff Daddy had thrown. And we sang for him. He took our phone number. He gave it to Eddie F., who had a production company called The Untouchables. And Eddie put us in the studio with Mary J. Blige, Jeff Redd, Christopher Williams, the Winans, like you name it, we was in the studio. And by working in the studio with these people, we caught the attention of Atlantic Records. And that's how we ended up with the deal to do the first album, the intro album.
So my question is this, y'all never wanted to get signed with Uptown being around that realm, Mr. Wike?
There's no way we could have signed that with Uptown at that time because they had Jodeci, and Jodeci was our boys. We used to go over Jodeci's house in Jersey before our albums came out and play basketball with them. Devontae would be on the piano, Kitty would be singing, and at that time, both of us, nobody knew about Jodeci, nobody knew about Intro. We had they had a school they used to ride to the store, come back with food and stuff. But Devontae wanted us to sign with Swing Mob. But they were a male group. You're not going to sign a male group should never sign to another male group because you're never going to be able to like move with them like that. I have no regrets. I'm glad we signed with Untouchables. I'm glad we signed with Atlantic Records. You know, everything happened how it was supposed to happen.
That's amazing that you said that because me, as a Jodeci person, I was not a fan of Jodeci. I don't want people to rag on me on this live, but it took me some time because the image for me back then was so different from what I was used to from, the polish, the guys that, the swing all, sing all the beautiful love songs. And then when Jodeci comes around, it's a whole different story. So I feel like you guys alone right there, y'all took this image from guys, who come from, different walks of life, but made beautiful love songs and beautiful hits. So it was very different from back in the 90s. So how do you feel that, your image, and stuff, your inspiration to other male groups have really inspired a lot of people from the way y'all came out from Jodeci and then y'all and then Boys II Men and everything like that?
But we were coming off the tail of the New Jack Swing era.
Yeah.
Like with those guys, and we learned a lot from them. Shout out to Guy and they had style and stuff. They actually made R&B music cool. Because before Guy Intro, we really wanted to be a rap group. We wanted to rap and have singing hooks on our songs, more like what they're doing today. That's what we wanted to do back then. But once we started writing the rhythm and blues songs, then we kind of fell into an R&B category. And it was like, well, if we can't really rap, let's stick with the hip hop beats. So that's why a lot of our albums have the hip hop beats on it, but still with the R&B gospel sound and stuff. And I think our sound touched a lot of the 90s groups, a lot of the male groups.
It did.
When I meet them on the road and we talk and we have conversations, I speak to them how they've inspired me and carried the torch on to bigger and better things. And it's so hard being in a group. People don't understand. It's kind of hard. It's hard being a solo artist, if anything, with the music industry. But then when you mix in the different personalities where people can try to manipulate this person to get the right answer for the whole group and stuff like that, it gets a little,
a little fuzzy. It does get a little shaky. Because when you're dealing with so many personalities in a group, you all have to come as one together. And I think with you guys, Intro, I love y'all name because I think with Intro, it's not only the acronym of it, but it was like an introduction to a new sound, a new journey of these new guys that's coming in is, taking over with Come Inside and Ribbon in the Sky and Let Me Be the One. Like, you kind of gave a push to a lot of these R&B artists that, we have this hip hop sound, but the thing about it is we can make way and cross over to other type of genres. You get what I'm saying? So for me, I appreciate that because like I said, I had to really do my work. And shout out to my friend JR. He really helped me with this interview and just make me want to understand with y'all and make me understand like what you guys define for all of us in the 90s. So
Yeah.
With that being said, I wanted to talk to you about the process of the first album, Intro.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to let you know you have inspired so many people with this album. Shout out to Girl Wonder, Makeba Riddick. She was actually, I don't know if you know who she is. She's a
So
huge, big.
I have an amazing story about Makeba Riddick. Now,
Oh, shout out to her. She definitely
shout out to
loves you
Makeba Riddick.
guys.
Okay, so we had boxes and boxes of fan mail. This was before IG, Instagram, and everything. So if you want to holler at Intro, you had to write us a letter. We had boxes and boxes of fan mail, and a lot of them was letters. But I came across a card, and it was from a young girl named Makeba Riddick. And me and Kenny, we read it, and it was her handwriting was so neat, and she said she was aspiring to be a songwriter and stuff. And I remembered that. And like years later, I was just going back through it, and I came across the card again. I said, well, I wonder if this girl ever became a songwriter, or if she's on Facebook now, because now we have all these social media platforms. Let me put in her name. I put in her name, and come to find out, she's like one of the biggest songwriters in the world. So I recently went into one of my messages, and I ended up messaging her back to let her know that we did receive her letter, and it was an inspiration to Kenny, because Kenny was like that's really who inspired her.
Yeah, she definitely said that. She gave you so much. She gave y'all so much love and so much props, and I was even shocked. And when I seen Makeba's resume, I was like, wow, she's wrote for some of my favorite singers that I love. Beyonce, she's wrote for Rihanna, she's wrote for all these people, and she works for Rock Nation. And like I said, your impact and your legacy is so huge. You even inspired Hello Zumbo, shout out to them. They definitely wrote an article about you guys and was just so inspired about your album. He was saying that every Saturday morning when his mama used to clean up, she would shout and wake him up, but she would play your classic first album. So that alone right there, your impact is so huge. He even said himself, he said that this album was way better than Diary of a Mad Band. So that's his opinion, but at the same time, he felt that in his personal opinion that Intro was just something different from other albums. So how do you feel like during the process of your first album? How did you feel about Intro at the time when you were making this first album?
During the recording of the album, like every song, once we leave the studio, we played in the car going back home, and I'd be like, sound like something that could be on the radio. And that was it. Never knowing that it would ever be on the radio. Never even know if the record company would ever put it out. But I kind of knew we were on to something from when I left the studio and I would listen to the music. Just seeing the amount of time that the producers were putting in, working with us and stuff, and the people who they were working with, the other artists that we had around us kind of gave me a clue that there might be a chance that one day this music will get out.
Right. So let's talk about some of the singles from there, like "Why Don't You Love Me" and everybody's fan favorite "Don't Leave Me," and then talk about the collaboration with you and Kenny. How did y'all come up with the writing process for that? Like, how did you guys come up with all that beautiful material?
"Don't Leave Me." "Don't Leave Me" was actually a song written about. I actually sat down at the table and wrote that song with my younger brother at Eddie F's house. There was a story about. I had been engaged when I was in the military, and it didn't work out. I was a young guy. I got too young. I got engaged when I was like 19 years old. And no horror story, but it just didn't work out. So "Don't Leave Me," I was just sitting there. I was listening to the music, and bam. Bam. Seriously. And then King was like, yo, what are you doing? What is that? And then how I was singing it originally is not how it ended up. He would add the melodies and stuff. He's like, nah, do it like this. We were in love, and now you tell me that. He just had that silky flow of, he could change anything into a song. That guy, man, God bless his soul.
And that's so dope, because I don't know if you know this, but a lot of your songs have been sung by a lot of hip hop artists. So "Don't Leave Me" was actually sampled by Big Crit. Shout out to Big Crit. He's actually from the South. He's from Mississippi. He's a big, huge artist in the South. And he actually sampled "Don't Leave Me." So how do you feel you have a lot of hip hop artists in the industry, hip hop rappers sample,
I would love to hear that. I would love to hear that.
I would definitely send that to you.
So I'm telling you, "Don't Leave Me" is so powerful. It's the most powerful single that we've never released. I've actually gotten NBA money from "Don't Leave Me."
Wow.
Damian Lillard from Portland Trailblazers, he sent me a check for "Don't Leave Me" because he used just a little bit of it on one of his songs. He's a dope rapper named Dame Dilla. That's his rap name. And he used a piece of "Don't Leave Me." And on our next album that's going to come out, "Don't Leave Me" will be pushed as a single. We didn't get into that part of the interview yet, but there's an album. Yeah.
That's a wow. You know, I'm excited about it because I know it is an album coming, and I'm ready for Intro's music. I'm ready. I'm excited. I'm definitely a fan now, especially when I seen that "Ribbon in the Sky." It was just beautifully written, and I just want to talk to you about that. Like, you talked a little bit about that. Like, how did y'all start off with the remake? And like you said, Stevie, did you know the reaction? How did you feel when it became a success? And how did Stevie Wonder feel about "Ribbon in the Sky" when you created that?
I didn't know. I didn't know if he had heard it. No one ever came to us and said, Stevie heard the song and he likes it. How I found out that he knew about the song was we shot the video for "Ribbon in the Sky" in Los Angeles, and I got on the plane, came back home that night, and as soon as I walked in the house, my mother told me that Kenny called, and he said to call him, it's important. So I called Kenny back at the hotel in Los Angeles, and he said, "You should have stayed because we're going to go meet Stevie Wonder tomorrow. He wants to meet us." So I went right back to the airport, and I got the red-eye flight. I got back to Los Angeles that morning. Yep. They sent the car to come pick us up, and they took us to his house. And that's when I found out, like, you know, the affection that he had for the song. He actually let us work with him that day. Ended up recording a song with him that's on it's on All Men Are Brothers album. It's a tribute album to Curtis Mayfield. It was Kenny's birthday, so he called over Johnny Gill, Terrence Trent D'Arby. They came over and hung out with us for the day. And that's when I really knew, you know, that he was affectionate about the song.
So I have a question about this. So the music video, that's correct. I definitely seen around the time it was January 15th. Did y'all do that all in one at the same time? Like, I love the concept. You know, it was a wedding, and you know, it was almost Kenny's birthday. You know, a shout out, happy belated birthday to the late great Kenny Green. You know, he just recently had a birthday. So how did all that come? Did y'all do the video and have the birthday all in one together? Because I looked at the date when y'all started. It said the 15th.
Yeah, we started on the 15th. Actually, we started on the 15th. The video is not really about Kenny's birthday party. Like, they had really nothing to do about it. Yeah, it was just
because I looked at the date.
Video. Yeah, and a lot of people was like, "That, oh, that's so cool. That's their family." You thought that was our family in there, right, with us?
No, I didn't. I didn't think it was your family, but it was interesting that it looked like a wedding.
Okay.
But it was to the point is, I think when the video starts, it says January 15th, and I was like, okay, this is around, you know, Kenny's birthday, and I was like, at the time, was it the video around the time when y'all met Stevie, or was it just like, I guess, all in one around the time frame?
Well, the entire video was done. The camera crew is gone home forever. Stevie Wonder has James Cleveland's son Andre call the hotel and said that he wants us to meet him. Kenny calls the video director and asks them, "Can you please meet us at Stevie Wonder's house with the cameras?"
Wow.
So Atlantic Record, they opened up an additional budget. I think it was something like an extra like $10,000.
Oh.
They took the crew there that day, and they set up the cameras at his piano. And we were sitting there as he actually walked out. That's when we first met Stevie Wonder. When he first came out, we was already sitting at the piano waiting for him. And then the day just turned into a party.
Oh, that is just so sweet. Well, I know for sure, as an article in the Boombox that really, they did a 15 top songs of cover songs that were better than the original. And they ranked you guys for "Ribbon in the Sky" as a number one of 15 out of 15 songs. You were the number one song for best cover and original. So how do you feel that a lot of people feel that your song is on the caliber of a Stevie Wonder when you hear that, you know, you recreated his classic hit and you still made it here? I feel like it should have been nominated for a Grammy. That's my opinion. But I do feel like, you know, that song is so beautiful and y'all covered it. How did you feel that, you know, Boombox rated y'all number one as the best classic cover song of all time?
We covered that song out of respect for Stevie Wonder. We knew, you know, having the respect that we have for Stevie Wonder, that we couldn't play around with it. So we just gave it our all. And that's all out of the love and respect from the man who originated it. It was his baby. It'll always be his baby. And that energy on that record is what we got from him, you know, listening to him. Yep.
Yeah, definitely for sure. A lot of people feel like, you know, either way it goes, they love your version and they love Stevie. So for you to be on the caliber of a Stevie Wonder, that is amazing. I mean, for y'all to even just start out on your first album and you get Stevie Wonder's hit and then you meet Stevie Wonder, that's really huge. So
It's dope.
yes, it was. And how did you feel about the success of the first album, you know, going number 11 on the Billboard charts and then y'all making a name for yourself?
It was all shocking and like appreciated every day. You know, we definitely didn't take it for granted.
Yeah.
It happened so fast. It happened so fast. Like I think the album went gold within 3 months, 2 or 3 months.
Oh,
Like yeah, and
that's really
during that time we were touring, so we really wasn't. We didn't get the chance to be at home and really enjoy it, and stuff like that.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just. But and oh yeah, mind you, around us, the groups that were coming out like Mary, SWV, Jodeci, so like those groups were actually going platinum. So even though we felt like we had good music, we still felt like something was missing. So we never got on the high horse, you know what I'm saying? We always just stayed hungry, like, okay, if they're not gonna give us credit for this, we're just gonna keep on going. We just gonna it just made us work harder, to tell you the truth. So yeah.
Definitely, for sure, and I do agree. Like I said, I think around that time it was so much R&B, and I always say this for myself personally. I'm like, for me, the '90s music is the best decade era. I'm biased with this, but I don't care. I love '90s music, and I feel like '90s music to me speaks to music what it is today. And I feel like because you are in that caliber with the SWVs, and you were actually at the time in Atlanta, you know, Brandy was just getting signed, so she's one of my favorite artists.
Brandy's dope. She signed to our label too. You know, she was there at Atlantic.
Yeah, she was there at the time and stuff. So like at this time, you know, Atlanta's coming out with all these people, you know. With this being said, even I think sometimes, you know, when you do get lost in shuffle because there's so many R&B groups at the time, I think because you still have the stamp approval, people still love intro to this day. And that's why I think Come Inside and Rim in the Sky are those timeless classic hits that people still remember. And I know for me growing up, especially when I learned about y'all, my ex-friends, we would all talk about, you know, this group intro. And I was like, you know, who is it? Like, have y'all ever heard this song called Come Inside? They blasted up so loud. I was like, oh yeah, y'all definitely know who the intro is. So I mean, your impact is still like a big, huge impact to this day. And like one of my friends who I was friends with, she actually was born in '95 when y'all made New Life. So with that, she still plays y'all songs. So definitely, I mean, you have a huge impact. And I do want to get to that about the second album. So after that, you're coming into your sophomore album, New Life, in '95. So can you talk to us about that? And I wanted to notice for one of your producers, you had the great Rodney Jerkins. How was it like working with him? And how can you talk about at the time when you were making New Life? And I know for sure you were dealing with some personal stuff at the time when you make New Life. So can you get into that?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. When we got the budget to go in and do the second album, Atlantic was so dope. There's like, give these guys what they want, give them whatever they want to get the second album done. So I was excited because I hadn't produced on the first album, and this was my opportunity to actually debut as a producer on the New Life album. Boom, Kenny Dad passes away. So now that happy second intro album is really not going to be from the heart because we weren't celebrating during that time. Yeah. So it turned in more into New Life, and the whole story of New Life is pretty much a dedication to Kenny's dad. And it did come down to where we had one more slot left on the album, and I was going to turn in a record for it. And I went up to the label with the record, and I peeped in, and I saw this 16-year-old kid sitting in the meeting, and he was playing this crazy beat. And I was like, forget about my ego, forget about production. You know, it's all for the team. Let's win, let's win, let's win. We need that song on the album. And that was Strung Out on Your Love, and that was Rodney Perkins. I think that might have been his first release on a major label, Strung Out on Your Love.
Wow. Yeah. So y'all knew Rodney Jerkins when he was a teenager, before anybody.
So when he did Strung Out.
Yeah. Wow. And I don't know if you know this, but you've had some rappers like 50 Cent. He sampled your song Funny How Time Flies. He sampled it on his song called Can't Go Wrong. So how do you feel that you have people like 50 Cent sample, you know, your records, and then you got another artist, OCG, he sampled the record. So how do you feel that these artists are sampling your records? Like, you got hip hop artists, because I think you've been so influential in the hip hop community. It's go to show you that you didn't just cross over in R&B, but you crossed over in hip hop.
Yeah, I think it's dope. Like 50, Actually he introduced us to his audience. He's brought us out to perform with him at festivals. We did Funny How Time Flies, and I remember we did Governor's Island, and I took my son with me, and I figured, okay, you're gonna meet 50 Cent. Just shake his hand and say what's up. It's a lot of people here, so he's not gonna have time to talk to us.
Yeah.
From the time we got there until it was almost time to go on stage, he stood there and he talked with me and my son. And I mean, he's talking about the whole New York was there, and I was like, oh shoot. And he told me that he has other songs with a lot of the other intro songs. He has other songs that he hasn't released yet. And yeah, you know, he's from around the same hood. We kind of grew up around the same hood. I've seen him at the gas station.
That's interesting because I think we get this persona. Oh, I'm sorry. You said the blue Bentley?
I see him at the gas station in the blue Bentley. Yeah, I was like, yo, come on by the house, man. Come by the house. I got the masters down there. I got the intro masters. It says producer work. You know, he's like, man, I ain't coming by your house.
Right,
but,
okay.
Yeah, that's all. It's all a blessing, man. Anybody that want to sample those songs and introduce us to their crowd, and you know, I love it.
Yes, yes, and that's what I'm saying, Mr. Buddy. Like, I appreciate it too, because it just goes to show you that your impact is so huge. And for me, like I said, you know, me just learning and understanding about you guys, you know, you weren't just intro, but you were introducing people to who you were, as in, you know, these three guys, this trio that came in and just changed the sound of R&B. I mean, you helped create Mary J. Blige, and for that alone right there, I salute to y'all, because if it wasn't for, you know, Love No Limit and all these songs from the first album, we wouldn't have Mary J. Blige to this day. So thank you for that. Appreciate that.
Shout out to Mary J. Blige.
Shout out to her.
Doing her thing on Power, right?
Mm-hmm. Cool. She's a beast. She's a beast. But I do appreciate that. So I wanted to talk to you about that also. After the success of everything, and you know, going to the second album, what happened to you guys in intro? And did you guys make a third album? And also, you know, at the time, y'all were getting ready to go into 2000. So what happened with that as well?
Yeah, we did start working on the third album. FUBU had gave us a budget, the clothing line. They had gave us a budget to go in and record some songs because they were putting out a compilation album. So Kenny came back to New York. We started recording. You know, it's a lot of stuff I don't want to give up because it's days away from the documentary. It's days away from the documentary.
Hey, I truly understand.
That's a real important part of it right there. That's in the documentary. But we did record a third album, and one day that album will be released. It will be.
I'm excited.
In perfect timing. There's some other things that have to happen before that's released, though, because there's a lot of dots that need to be connected musically. Yeah.
Definitely. So since then, I know you're talking about the third album, and now you're transitioning. When we're getting ready to the 2000s, like, what was going on and what happened with Kenny? Because I know, you know, he did pass in 2001. What was going on with that? And, you know, how did you guys react to his death when he did pass away?
Well, you know, his health took a turn for the worse. It was kind of like, it wasn't a surprise. It was, you know, we was praying for a different outcome, but he's quite open with us what was going on with his health and stuff. And, you know, continue praying for him and, you know, just being there to support him all the way to the last day, you know. And it was devastating. There's no other word that I can add to it, but devastated with a capital D. Not just because of the music and stuff like that, but working with him with music, he was just such a good person, and to see him have to go through, you know, something like that at a young age. He's only like 31, 32 years old. You know,
wow, that's the age I am right now. I'm 31.
Yeah, really young. You know, he has so much. I feel like he has so much to do in life, but when I think about it, he's done so much that I think he did it all. He did everything that he was supposed to do. He got it all done. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And I know you guys played a huge role. And I know for him, like, he was like, how did you guys, I guess as a three, you know, as intro, like, you were the instrumentation, Kenny was the singer, and Jeff, like, y'all were all kind of like this melting pot.
More like the choreographer.
So y'all were kind of like this melting pot of all the things to form a R&B group, a boy band, what they call it nowadays. But for that alone right there, your impact has been so huge. Like, you guys, I guess I would say y'all played off each other, but the thing about it is y'all had chemistry that was so undeniable that you really, really set a tone for the 90s. And, you know, thank you for that, because, you know, I know for me that, you know, when death does happen to you, it does change the way things happen in life. But I know for sure y'all legacy is so impactful that, you know, Kenny, I know his presence, he's always around you. So for sure, you know, I'm very blessed and thankful that, you know, you guys left a legacy for us. And thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
No
you.
problem. No problem. Thank
Yeah.
you. So now,
Kenny made the music bigger than the members.
yes, he did.
He made the music bigger than the members. Nobody knows who's in intro. And I'm like that too
Yeah.
when it comes to some groups. Like the Brand New Heavies is one of my favorite groups. I couldn't name one person in the group. Even to today, I don't know anybody's name, but I know Brand New Heavies and I know that their music is dope.
And be honest with you, I love a Tribe Called Quest, but I don't know barely any of those folks. And then too, who is it? The Wu-Tang Clan. That's another one. It's too many people in that group. So I know one, and then two, and then other. I barely know everybody because there's so many people. But I do get it. Like when you want to understand the history of people, you know their music. But like when I do my interviews, I always want to know, you know, who are these people that made an impact in my life, and who are these, you know, legends. I call you guys legends because to me, you know, you guys have set the tone regardless if you had one hit or multiple hits, but you guys have had multiple hits. You set a legacy for all the blueprint for all how to do R&B. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm just thankful for that. And not even just that, at the end of the day, you know, you guys set a tone that so unmatched that, you know, people still try to copy the singing and the hip hop and stuff. So definitely for sure. Definitely. So now your life has changed since intro, and can you talk about what you and Jeff are doing and how to keep the legacy of intro alive? And I love your little logo thing. I low key like that jacket. I was like, I like the intro logo. I was like, I like that. That's something I would definitely wear. So can you tell the audience yourself what have you
I'll
learned?
get your address. I'll get your address from
Okay, I got you. We got you. So can you tell the audience yourself what have you been doing differently since now we are in 2021, what is going on with the legacy of intro? And now I know you said about the documentary and what can we expect? And do you have a date when you're dropping the documentary? Because I'm excited.
Music Lyrics in Life is due in February. That's our tentative date during Black History Month.
Okay.
And that's been it for the last year and a half. I mean, it's been ups, it's been downs, and we've been to the left, we've been to the right. And but I can't wait to see it. Like I said, I'm going to watch it tonight for the first time. I was speaking to the director yesterday, and he watched it last night for the first time. He told me that he started crying. He had to get up and walk away. So I know if he started crying, I don't know what the hell's going to happen with me. They might have to call an ambulance for me. Yeah, but I put my heart, I put my soul into it, and I'm really looking forward to it, and I'm hoping that through it, you know, people will be able to get the story of Kenny, Jeff, and Buddy, and what we contributed to music, and got some of our good friends in there. We got Donnell Jones, we got Mr. Cheeks, we got Big Daddy Kane, Coco from SWV. So we brought some of our friends from the 90s along with us. We got JR. He came up and just really killed the interview.
Shout out to JR.
Just people, please just look out for it. It's going to definitely be on it's going to be on TV One, BT, Amazon Prime, or Netflix. One of those papers will be getting signed within the next 2-3 weeks.
Come on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, I am excited. I love music documentaries because for me, I watched Nina Simone 2 years ago, and I knew who she was, but I really didn't know who she was. And when I watched,
jumped in. The director to the documentary just jumped in.
He's just talking about the documentary. Okay. Yes, thank you so much. I'm excited. Shout out to y'all in the flicks. Shout out to y'all thank you so much for the documentary. I'm so excited. But I was just saying with Nina Simone, it was just so impactful how her legacy was so huge. And I knew about her, but I didn't know about her until I watched the documentary. And I cried. I cried tears. So I know for me with intro, because of your story, and I know the depth of Kenny, I know for me, I know I'm a little heartfelt, but for me, I know for sure the legacy that you left, I mean, you still have to this day. You really, really have changed. I call y'all innovators because you guys really, really changed the game in R&B, period. I mean, for y'all alone, you, Jodeci, I put y'all up there with the Jodeci's, the Boys and Men. You guys are definitely up there because, like I said, it doesn't matter how it hits. It's just the impact of people that you have made. You know, regardless, you really left a legacy for all of us. And so I'm blessed and thankful for that, even though I'm mad that I found out about y'all in 2017.
Thank you.
But you know, hey, like I said, and my friend Jar said, better late than never. So definitely for sure, better late than never. But thank you so much. I'm excited about the documentary. Please let me know, and I definitely will promote anything else. You did say that intro y'all are coming out with third. I know you don't want to talk too much about it, but I know for sure you will be on streaming platforms.
That's there. It's going to be an official intro album. Prior to that third album, like the dots, I said that need to be connected. Warner Music Group is going to release an album along with the documentary as well, and that's going to have remixes from the first album, second album, and I requested that "Don't Leave Me" in its original form remain on this new album as well. And they're going to do a digital release, and we're going to get it out to the younger generation, the people that may not have never heard about us. They didn't have parents to clean up the house and listen to it. So we're just going to do another introduction, a reintroduction of intro. Yeah.
Oh, and I'm excited. So a lot of people in the comments, they said they can't wait. They are excited. And I'm telling you, Mr. Buddy, when I say people have came on my live and been excited, I have never seen the excitement of just anything with intro in general. Like just the excitement of y'all and just y'all just having resurgence just makes it just warm and beautiful and just really blessed and thankful that, you guys really, really made us love R&B because I love me some R&B. I'm an R&B head. I'm a diehard R&B fan. So thank you so much. And I wanted to ask you, did you have any last words before we do end the live about anything else that you have coming up for 2021? I know we're in this crazy pandemic. I don't know if y'all gonna be doing any virtual concerts. Is you and Jeff are gonna get together and do something, or what's going on with intro? Like, will you be singing your classic hits?
I'm looking at doing a live pretty much from right here on around Valentine's Day. I'm not sure if it's going to be on Valentine's Day or the day before, but I definitely want to do a live concert, sing a couple of the love songs for the couples. BuddyWike.com. That's where most of the information is going to be channeled to. Buddy Wike Music. In the Flicks Films. I'm just numb right now. I'm just numb for this documentary. I'm telling you, this guy Jason Evans has busted his behind. He's flown all over the country. He's been out to Alabama to interview Kenny's mom and his sister and family. He's been down to Annapolis, Maryland to speak with my dad. And, shout out to this guy. He's like one of the hardest working directors I've ever seen. If I had a chance to work with bigger names, I still would have worked with him because his work is phenomenal.
Man, I'm definitely like excited, and I'm just happy. And I always wanted to know what happened with you guys. I've always wanted to know the history of you, and I'm just so blessed. And shout out to Indie Flicks for just doing this documentary because I've always wanted to know what happened with anybody. I don't care who you are. If you touch my heart, you got me.
Intro is a brand. It's kind of like a weird brand. You have to keep your eye on us to figure out, to see what's going on, because we're kind of cool. We might add a member, then they may go. We might add two members, and then they may go. Original members might jump in and jump out, and jump in and jump out. Be going all over the place. But if you got any questions, just hit your boy Buddy Wike up. I ain't going nowhere. I've been here from day one. I'll be here on the last day. So
thank you so much, Mr. Buddy. Well, let me know about the documentary. I got you. And anything you need from my channel, we will definitely support the legacy of intro. You guys, definitely for you for sure. And anything you need, I am definitely here. And I'm just so blessed and thankful. And I'm ready for this documentary because I'm a sap for music documentaries. I'm a music head. So anything dealing with R&B, I'm here to support 100%.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you guys day. And God, thank you so much. Guys, and definitely for sure, we are getting ready to tune in this Friday. This Friday coming up, we are going to have Mr. Melvin Riley. He will be joining me on Friday, the one and only from the Ready for the World. He will join me for sure and let me get ready for his concert on the Valentine's Day. It'll be February 13th. Be looking out for that. And also, guys, join me January 31st. I will be joined with the one and only iconic songwriter, Miss Tamara Savage. We are going to be celebrating the 15th anniversary of Heather Helly's song, In My Mind. So, guys, make sure, in the classic album, make sure guys tune in for that. Mr. Buddy, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, guys. We are done with our interview. Thank you so much, Mr. Clinton Buddy Wike from Intro. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.